Hey everyone. So today I want to talk about what people don't seem to understand about people with hearing loss. And I feel like there are so many misconceptions that this video could be hours long, but I'm going to just talk about a few key points because I find it extremely frustrating when people just assume things. And I mean, everyone's guilty of this. Like, I assume, like it's one of those things, but I feel like with hearing loss, especially, there's a couple things that people just like think they know, but if they don't have hearing loss, they really don't know. You know? Like, for example, when I wear hearing aids, it's not like poof, my hearing loss is like magically restored and I can hear everything always perfectly and it's beautiful. It's not true. Hearing aids are not a cure. And I think that is one of the biggest misconceptions, like, oh, you wear hearing aids, so your hearing must just like be back to normal. Not the case at all. Another one is I find people, if they don't know you have hearing loss, they think that you're just ignoring them and being rude or like just being difficult. And it's like, well, no. And then you tell them you have hearing loss and they might feel bad for, saying that or something. But we all need to be better communicators. And I find that if you ask someone to repeat themselves, it shouldn't be like a confrontational thing. You should be like, hey, do you mind repeating yourself? Like, I didn't hear what you said. But some people get so judgy and offended by it. And I don't understand. Because I think like sometimes we all just mumble or aren't clear or whatever. And especially when you have hearing loss, like those are big things and make it significantly more difficult. So I find it really, really funny. My dog decided to make an appearance here. I find it really funny when it comes to hearing loss. People just like think that you are choosing not to listen or choosing not to like try to understand. And I find that really frustrating because that's like the thing that we're trying to do the most and like the hardest. It's like I'm trying so hard to listen right now, or I'm trying so hard to understand you, but maybe you have an accent, maybe you have a cold, maybe you're talking to me and you're slowly turning away and I'm just like, ah. But the reason I bring this up is because I have a guide. We're tired of explaining 20 things hearing people don't seem to understand about people with hearing loss. And this is something that kind of just like sprung to me, if that's the right word, because I was getting frustrated with having to repeat myself about certain things about my hearing loss journey. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it down on pen and paper. I'm going to write this out and I'm going to give it to the person that was constantly not getting it. And this is someone that was in my life often. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be kind about it, but I'm going to be blunt about it. And it's super easy. It's not filled with fluff. It's literally bullet points. Number 16. I miss things even if I seem engaged. Just because I react doesn't mean I caught everything. And that's important too, because sometimes like I'll phase out unintentionally hearing fatigue, listening fatigue, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it's just hard to follow a conversation, especially if someone's not speaking clearly or slowly enough or whatever it might be. Number 17, conversations in the dark are a struggle. Yes, that's a big one. If I can't see your face, I will lose important visual cues. So again, I created this because it's really hard to start those conversations sometimes. And I feel like, again, there's hundreds of misconceptions, but I narrowed it down to 20 that I felt were the most needed to be kind of put in front of people who don't quite understand hearing loss so that they can start to understand the daily struggles that we go through. So I have this available in a hard copy and a digital copy. So if you want it right now in your inbox, you can get that, or I can mail you out a copy. But it's just, you give it to the person who you're wanting to have the conversation with. Be like, hey, do you mind reading this? And then, we can talk about it after, or just leave it on your coffee table and people come by, or at your office desk, even if you're comfortable doing that. Again, it's not something, like hearing loss is not something you have to disclose, but in my personal experience, I have found that it has offered so many benefits and people genuinely want to try to improve communicating with you. You will encounter some people who don't. That's life. Move on. But again, the people that do want to try and do care about you, this is a really great conversational piece and starter, and you can adjust it to fit your own hearing loss. But this is something that I think should be in all of our toolkits. And I wish I had this 8 years ago when I first started my hearing loss journey, because I was navigating it myself too. And I was trying to figure out like, Like, I'm not ignoring you, but if I don't respond, like number 10, I'm not ignoring you. If I don't respond, I probably didn't hear you. You need to get my attention first. And there's all these things that, especially when you get diagnosed in your 20s or whatever age, it's really hard to like express these things and not feel overwhelmed or anxious about it. And so I compiled it into a little booklet to kind of ease some of those uncomfortable conversations that we need to have to make things better. So if you want to grab a copy of your own, head to my website, hardtohearit.com. You can grab a hard copy or a digital copy.